Right, listen up because what I'm about to tell you could save you from a hefty fine, points on your license, or worse. If you're a driver in the UK, especially if you're of senior age like myself, there are some absolutely massive changes coming to our roads this November 2025, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that some of these new rules are going to catch thousands of drivers completely off guard. I've been driving for over 40 years, and I thought I'd seen it all, but these changes are significant, and if you don't know about them, you could find yourself on the wrong side of the law without even realizing it. So stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to break down exactly what's changing, why it matters to you, and what you need to do right now to make sure you're not caught out. Now, the first major change that's coming into effect is the expansion of clean air zones across multiple UK cities, and this one is particularly important for senior drivers who might be driving older vehicles. From November 2025, cities including Birmingham, Bristol, Portsmouth, and several London boroughs are implementing stricter emission standards, and here's the kicker: if your vehicle doesn't meet the new Euro 6 standards for diesel cars or Euro 4 for petrol cars, you're going to be charged every single time you enter these zones. We're talking about daily charges ranging from £10 to £15, and these aren't one-off payments. If you live in or regularly drive through these areas, those charges can add up to hundreds of pounds every single month. For many of us on fixed pensions, that's simply not affordable. The problem is that many older drivers, myself included, have been driving the same reliable car for years, and these vehicles, even though they are perfectly roadworthy and well maintained, simply don't meet these new emission standards. You need to check right now whether your vehicle is compliant, and you can do this by visiting the government's Vehicle Checker website. Just enter your registration number, and it'll tell you immediately whether you'll be affected. If you are affected, you've got some difficult decisions to make. Do you avoid these zones entirely, which might mean changing your regular routes or missing appointments? Do you pay the charges and absorb the cost? Or do you consider changing your vehicle? I know that's not what any of us want to hear, but unfortunately, these are the choices we're facing. The second major change concerns mobile phone regulations, and this is where things get really strict. Yes, we all know that using a handheld mobile phone while driving has been illegal for years, but from November 2025, the definition of what constitutes illegal use is being dramatically expanded. Previously, if you were stopped at traffic lights or stuck in stationary traffic, there was some grey area about whether briefly checking your phone was technically illegal. Well, that grey area is gone. The new rules make it crystal clear that touching your mobile phone for any reason whatsoever while you're in the driver's seat with the engine running is illegal, even if you're parked with the handbrake on. The only exception is if you're safely parked with the engine completely switched off. This means no checking messages at red lights, no glancing at your phone when you're in a traffic jam, no quickly changing the music on your phone even if it's in a holder. The penalties are severe as well: 6 points on your license and a £200 fine for a first offence. For many senior drivers who passed their test decades ago, 6 points is a huge chunk of the 12 points you're allowed before facing a ban. And here's something that catches a lot of people out: if you passed your test within the last 2 years, getting 6 points means an automatic ban. Now, I know many of us use our phones for navigation, and that's perfectly legal as long as the phone is in a proper holder and you're not touching it while driving. But you need to set your route before you start driving, and if you need to change anything, you must pull over safely, switch off the engine, and only then can you touch your phone. It might seem over the top, but the statistics don't lie. Mobile phone distraction is a factor in a huge number of serious accidents, and the government is cracking down hard. Now, here's a change that's going to affect virtually every driver in the UK, and it's one that I think is long overdue but is still going to take some getting used to. From November 2025, speed limit enforcement is becoming significantly more aggressive with the rollout of average speed cameras on major A roads and motorways across the country. Unlike traditional speed cameras that only measure your speed at a single point, average speed cameras track your speed over a distance of several miles by reading your number plate at multiple points. Here's why this matters so much. Many of us, and I'm being honest here, have gotten into the habit of knowing where the fixed speed cameras are on our regular routes. You slow down for the camera, then speed up again afterwards. Well, with average speed cameras, that doesn't work. The system calculates your average speed between 2 points, so even if you slow down for certain sections, if your overall average is above the limit, you'll get a ticket. What's particularly concerning for senior drivers is that these systems are incredibly accurate and there's virtually no margin for error. The old myth about getting 10% plus 2 miles per hour leeway is just that, a myth. While some police forces may have used that as an internal guideline, these new camera systems are being calibrated to catch anyone exceeding the limit by even 1 or 2 miles per hour. My advice is simple. Set your cruise control if you have it, stick rigidly to the speed limits, and accept that journey times might be slightly longer. It's far better than receiving multiple tickets and accumulating points on your license. Another significant change coming in November is the requirement for all drivers over 70 to complete a mandatory online awareness course every 3 years as part of their license renewal process. Now, I can already hear some of you bristling at this, thinking it's ageist or unnecessary, but hear me out. This isn't a test that you can fail. It's an awareness course designed to update senior drivers on new road rules, changes in road layouts, and modern driving technology. The course takes about 2 hours to complete online from the comfort of your own home, and it covers things like understanding new traffic signs, dealing with smart motorways, awareness of cyclists and pedestrians, and understanding modern vehicle safety features. The DVLA is sending out information packs to all drivers who will be affected, and you'll receive yours at least 3 months before your license is due for renewal. The course is free, and once you've completed it, your license renewal is processed normally. If you don't complete the course, however, your license won't be renewed, and you won't legally be able to drive. I actually think this is quite sensible because let's be honest, the roads and the rules have changed dramatically over the years, and a bit of a refresher never hurt anyone. The final major change I want to talk about concerns insurance, and this is something that's going to hit a lot of senior drivers in the pocket. From November 2025, insurance companies are being given new powers to access real-time data about your vehicle's mileage and usage patterns through something called telematics. Now, some insurers have offered black box policies for years, usually aimed at young drivers, but what's changing is that insurers can now request access to your vehicle's built-in telematics data as a condition of providing cover, especially for drivers over 70. Modern cars, anything built after about 2018, have computers that record all sorts of data including how many miles you drive, what time of day you drive, how hard you brake, and even whether you're consistently exceeding speed limits. Insurers argue that this data helps them offer more accurate premiums, rewarding safe drivers with lower costs. But here's the reality. If you're driving at times that insurers consider higher risk, like late at night or during rush hour, or if you're driving more miles than you declared, or if your vehicle's computer shows you're regularly speeding, your premium could skyrocket or your cover could even be cancelled. For senior drivers, this feels like yet another way we're being monitored and penalized, but unfortunately, it's the direction the industry is moving. My strong recommendation is to be absolutely honest about your mileage and driving patterns when you take out insurance. Consider installing a dashcam to prove you're a safe driver if you need to make a claim, and think carefully about whether you really need to be driving during peak times if you can avoid it. So there you have it. 5 major changes coming to UK roads this November 2025 that every driver, especially senior drivers, needs to be aware of. Check whether your vehicle meets the new emission standards for clean air zones, understand the stricter mobile phone rules and never touch your phone while in the driver's seat with the engine on, prepare for widespread average speed cameras that will catch every single speeding offense, complete your mandatory awareness course if you're over 70 and your license is due for renewal, and be prepared for insurance companies to access your vehicle's telematics data. These changes might feel overwhelming, but knowledge is power, and now that you know what's coming, you can prepare properly. Make sure you share this information with other drivers you know, especially fellow senior drivers who might not be aware of these changes. Stay safe out there, drive carefully, and I'll see you on the roads.